What up? What up? What up? This Ibn Webb, Ib Webb, Karana Sum here. Official things thing I got going on. Derrick Bobbitt, extraordinary man, coach, et cetera. Just being able to evolve throughout his life here, and the man that he's become here. And, you know, uh, hopefully the little kid in me don't come out too much here. I just think about him being one of the big homies, having the opportunity to watch play his teams play or what have you. There, just a joy. And like I said, just been able to link up with him. I know I've been doing this and been trying to catch him. And luckily, I got some luck here. So I just want to say thanks to Mike Boy here for just with this live here, as far as just connecting me with him. So I'm looking forward to just hearing about his walk in again. Hopefully the kid and me don't come out too much here. So hold tight. Peace, peace. You can hear me?
What's good? What's good? Sorry for the mix up, bro. I swear you see I got the Clifton Scott shirt on.
I see.
I've been on go. I was like, all right, I'll just wait till you finish.
Nah, all good, all good. Nah, thank you for doing this here. And like I mentioned to just prior to doing this here, like I said, I know when I've been doing this, I did try to reach out or what have you here, so
Right.
to get you, man, for Mike and whoever else is to kind of connect us here, like I said, thank you for doing this.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just kind of to jump into it, man. I know when is this jersey, you born here up top or you raised, I mean,
Oh
somewhere else
yeah,
and
yeah.
just ended up here?
I'm from Newark, born and raised in
Okay.
Newark. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Born and raised in Newark. Went to school in Newark since I was since I was in preschool, and stayed in Newark my whole life until I went to Scott. That was a whole that's a whole another story. But I went to
okay.
school. Oh, Harriet Tubman School. Started playing ball in sixth grade. My gym teacher. We used to have. I was kind of taller. I used to like playing football.
I was about to say a lot of people say football first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I like the parking lot football. I didn't want to get.
Okay. Oh,
You
you
know
ain't
what I mean?
trying to get hit. Okay. Okay.
Nah. So down the hill, the townhouse is like right across the street from Little Bricks. I think it was
Okay.
New Horizon. I lived in Ivy Hill. I don't know if you know what that is over there by it's
That's at Wellsburg.
Bellsburg.
Wellsburg.
Bellsburg.
Yeah.
I lived in Ivy Hill, but interestingly enough, I grew up down the hill. Like
Hmm.
I stayed at my grandmother's houses and stuff like that for most of my youth. I'd usually come home with my mother and father, and then go to sleep, whatever. Then I'd be back there. So I didn't really know people in Ivy Hill. Everybody I knew really, and my friends were down the hill.
Only child?
No, instantly enough, I have three brothers, and two of my brothers I consider their sisters my sisters. My younger brother, most people, his name K Bob, but most people that know the two of us don't even know we're brothers.
Mm.
We're so different and everything. And they put it together like, oh, but that's my brother, my mother and father. We have the same mother and father. Then I have two older brothers. One is Apache, Anthony and Daryl. But Apache, remember, I need a gangster bitch.
Hmm.
Apache, yeah, that's my big bro. And Lati. Lati is the younger of those two. But
Okay.
yeah, those are my brothers.
Wow. Look at that. I just learned. So Apache is your brother, and
Yeah,
rest in
yeah,
peace. Yeah.
yeah.
Nah.
Well,
Nah. Just that childhood of yours. I mean, like what you get into. I know you mentioned little parking lot football, but what other stuff you used to get
yeah.
into as a kid?
Oh man, I was talking to somebody the other day. Like I really had a great childhood. It's funny and know how we you don't know what you don't have.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So you cool with everything. You look up like, we played a lot in the parking lot and shit like that, but that was cool. It was cool to
Hmm.
play in the parking lot. We sat out on the generators and stuff. That was fun. As a
Hmm.
young guy, I spent a lot of time. I'd be at one grandparent's house. I had my grandfather and my grandmother, and then I had my other grandmother. So I'd be down there, and that's really where I grew up. Like I said, I played. I started. I loved playing stuff like tops. I don't know if you ever played tops. We played tops. We play. We all kind of games. Dodgeball, kickball, all that stuff, man. I had a really fun childhood. Really
Nah,
fun.
nah. And it sounded like too, I mean, the whole approach with you and your family was like it takes a village. You mentioned your grandparents, you mentioned your parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and my aunts and stuff like that. You
Mhm.
know, I had only had really one uncle.
Okay.
But other than that, that's where I've spent most. That's where I spent my years. Definitely my formative years.
And then the whole sports thing, I know again you mentioned football, but even hoops, how'd that come about?
Yeah, like hoops, like that was crazy because like I was always tall,
Okay.
but you know, I liked football. Football was my thing. I wanted to go play football with my friends after school. Um, that was the Dallas Pittsburgh era. You know, you either a
Hmm.
Cowboy fan or a Pittsburgh fan. I was a
Yeah.
Pittsburgh fan back then. Um, but my gym teacher used to during gym. My gym teacher, Mr. Williams. I always try to give credit to a lot of these guys who pretty much formed me into who I am. He just used to say, "Bobby, get over there. You don't worry about none of that. You get over there and make 100 layups." And I barely can make a
Mm-hmm.
layup. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But that's when it started. And then Coach Gaines, we end up with a team at Harriet Tubman that year. I actually teach at the same school I went to. And I've been
Okay.
teaching there 30 years. Yeah.
Mm.
So at Harriet Tubman, Coach Gaines and Coach Holmes, I think, those were my first coaches. And we had our uniforms and we practiced, and that's why I learned to play. I wasn't any good, but I learned to play. I even remember at Carver, Carver was crazy back then. Um, George Washington Carver, and I made the
Mm-hmm.
basket in the wrong basket, even, I think. You know what I mean? And I was kind of happy, but that's when it started. That's when I started playing basketball.
Yeah, and again, as far as this, was it like the middle school leagues or like the school leagues
Yeah, it
initially,
was
as
it was
far
like
as
a
that
school
goes?
league. It was a
Hmm.
school. The
Okay.
highest grade we went up to was sixth grade.
Okay.
So we were playing a lot of the young, we weren't playing against a lot of 7th, 8th graders.
Hmm.
Like I was the tallest one. I don't know how tall I was, six something. You know what I mean? Like maybe like 6'1", maybe I don't something like that. But I was pretty tall for then. But even then, that's when I actually started to love basketball. So um I think during that summer I would spend the entire day at Westside Park.
Okay.
Um, Westside Park, like sun up. We had we got breakfast and lunch and everything. Even an evening dinner or whatever. Me and my friends would stay at the park all day. My boy Latif Sanar, Pop, he went to university. One of the first people I met Pop in the park and realized he was going to university. And I went to university as a 7th grader.
Hmm.
Starts in 7th grade. But that's when I started playing basketball, sun up to sundown. I even be at my grandmother's house and I'd walk up. And then we had summer leagues. And if you know anything about, I'm sure you know about St. Rocco's, right?
The Rocco's, yep. Yes.
Yeah, Rocco's. So, I even played with St. Rocco's that summer. And I think
Okay.
with Paul, Paul McPleasant, Paul is an icon. And St.
Yeah.
Rocco, Paul, oh man, I don't know what a lot of people would have done without just having Paul around. Paul
Hmm.
taught us about basketball, playing basketball at that young age, and that gave me a lot of confidence. I think, if I'm correct, I think I think I ended up getting like a MVP trophy from that, or most improved or something from that summer league because we won the championship, and I played even on.
But I'm bugging too, as you say that you mentioned St. Rocco's,
Uh-huh.
you probably like too tall, that's like guard central over there.
Oh yeah, and that's what I was about to say. Like I
Yeah.
played with, I don't know if you know Sean Evans.
No, I heard
Sean
that name. I
Evans.
heard that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Sean Evans. Sean Evans was tough. He ended up going to Union Catholic and stuff. But Sean, they had the guards and everybody, man. So St. Rogers had a crew, but I was the big man on that particular team.
Okay.
Um, like I said, I was going to 7th grade. Pretty sure I was going to 7th grade. Um, but but that really boosted my confidence, and I kind of started really falling. I was really in love with basketball at that point, and just playing all the time after that.
Hmm.
Then I went to university.
Yeah. I'll ask about university back in seventh grade because I think about university growing up. Like, you had to get accepted to get in there. Like, and academically, you had to be sharp.
Yeah, back then you had to take you had to take a test to get in the seventh, the gift and the Townsend program, the 7th and 8th grade program, and then after 8th grade you had to take another test to get to the high school part. Yeah, so I was a pretty good student. So university, I spent 4 years at university. Like I spent with a high school person was spending in high school, and it was a little culture shock at first, but it was good culture shock. You know what I'm saying? University, you got all these senior girls and all these people that seem big. You know, it's like you're in high school with lockers. I was just the previous year walking in a line to go to the cafeteria and lunch and everything. Now you're in high school.
Yeah.
So that was big. We didn't have a ball team. We didn't have a ball team at university. All of us it was only a few of us. Me and Latif, Pop, we played for Carver, George Washington Carver.
Okay.
So we walked down the street, Clinton Place. And then the next year when I was an 8th grader, me and Mitty Baraka, the mayor's brother, Raz's brother, me and him used to walk and play for Carver the next year.
Yeah, because I know the mayor, he went there too. He went to university as well.
Raz. Those are my guys.
Okay.
It's their sister, Shani. Shani's in my heart, yo. Shani was like my best friend, my sister, Shani Baraka, who unfortunately she was killed. But me and Shani were like this. Yeah. But I'm real cool with the family.
Nah. Good stuff here. And then I think just even being young and just even academically like kind of locked in. I'm sure looking back on it now, you're in education, so I'm sure that just paid dividends even early on. Just having a book. Who put you on? Was it like your parents or your grandparents that kind of instilled the academic, in you?
I was naturally kind of pretty smart, but my parents, my mother, my father, always pushed me, made sure I was doing my homework and everything. I remember like first grade, I was in my own reading group because every day I would I would make sure I do my reading and everything. So I was in a book before a lot of people. I remember it was a book called My City, something like that. I remember first grade. But I had some great teachers. Like all our teachers back then were like, if you think about it, because I'm talking about in the 70s, early 70s, my teachers were children of the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? They were either like
Being
teenagers.
in Newark, right? That whole fresh off the whole riots and all that.
Exactly. So it was a whole Black Power thing. Hardly ever Star Spangled Banner. We sing and lift every voice and sing.
That's
We learning about Shirley Chisholm and Barbara Jordan and doing, you know what I mean? And I just had great teachers and a great learning environment, man. Miss Bishop, Miss Page, there's so many teachers there. So yeah, it started early on.
Did you know even out of 7th, 8th grade that you was just going to stay at university your freshman year or what have you?
Yeah, like we didn't have a basketball team at university until my 8th grade year.
Okay.
That was the very first team. And the coach from George Washington Carver, Mr. Miller, he was the coach at university.
Okay.
For high. So I played both, and I practiced with the high school even as an 8th grader. Yeah, but I thought I was there. That's when Herm was there. I think we talked. Herm was there. Herm. I didn't see his. I didn't watch his, but Herm didn't play much. Not play much playing time. I think his father kept him off the team, like whenever he didn't think Herm was doing what he was supposed to be doing in the books.
Okay.
Herm was a beast, but I always stayed there. I remember Herm had a 40-point game back then. No 3-point lines when he did. But, you know what I'm saying?
From what I hear, Herm was Herm. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
Now, when you say they just started a team, did they jump right far? If you can remember, they jumped right into a varsity schedule, and nowadays they'll do like a JV. Okay.
Nah, I don't even think there was a JV.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there was a JV, but it probably was. It's crazy I don't even remember that because I just played with the varsity. Practice stuff with them, but no, they jumped straight in. played like science and smaller
Arts and
schools,
all of them? Okay.
academic and collegiate and schools that I, don't really hear of much, but I remember seeing them in the paper. But we played small schools. It was a group one. University was a small school. Probably had about 450 kids, maybe
Okay.
total.
Okay.
Yeah. So they jumped right in with that.
And so you just playing varsity like immediately because of the way it was put
Yeah.
together.
By the time I was a freshman, yeah.
Mhm.
By the time I was a freshman, so like seventh grade, I was making my way. By eighth grade, I was pretty good.
Okay.
At least for what's around me.
Hmm.
I would later find out what really good was. but I, I was pretty good at eighth grade. And at Carver, I mean, we had a lot of people. George Washington Carver was amazing. Even Ease didn't play for Carver. He played for Maple. Malik Cox.
Hmm. Well,
He's
later on with
always
the Shabazz, is that the one that with the
bad.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
he's Ease. He always been a monster, man, even
Mhm.
at his size. But we used to have a couple battles with them. I remember those days. And it's crazy, Mr. Miller, our coach, like I said, all my coaches had an impact on me. Mr. Miller, and everybody who was at Carver knows, when we missed layups in practice, you had to go to the center, stand in a circle, and put your hands out. And he had a paddle. I forgot the
Mhm.
paddle name. And he used to hit us with it. We get hit on the ass with the paddle.
Yeah.
Isaac Morgan, remember Ice from Elizabeth High School?
Yes.
Isaac there. Um, Smiley with the Shabazz. Um, he passed too. But we had a crew of people. But yeah, Mr. Miller used to do that.
Hmm.
Can't get away with that now, but it wasn't even a big deal
Oh
back
no.
then.
Oh
Nah,
no, no.
nobody
But
knows how that shit now.
oh no, oh no,
It
oh
was
no.
different
Now,
back then.
oh, most definitely, most definitely. How was it just playing with the older folks while you were there, like the 10th, 11th, 12th graders? How was it just intimidating, or you was just like, hey,
Nah,
you, okay,
nah, it wasn't intimidating at all. Like I knew those guys, like Raz
okay,
was on the team and a couple of the other guys from '86 and stuff. But nah, I wasn't intimidated at all. Like I knew I could play with them since
okay,
I was in eighth grade. At
okay.
university, Miss Hewitt, the gym teacher, and everybody loves Miss Hewitt. Miss Hewitt used to have intramurals within the school. So like the freshmen would play against the juniors and the soft. Everybody had their own team. So I was used to playing against all of these guys,
Mhm.
and I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem. I thought I was pretty good. I didn't have a problem playing with them at that time.
Now you get there. I know you're saying Group One, what have you there. So, did you ever? I mean, I know AAU it was only a handful of teams. Did you, kind of play around with that, or you just kind of just stayed
Nah,
away
yeah,
from it?
I played. Yeah, that's that. So many things change your life. That changed my life.
Okay.
Um, my boy, I told you, Pop, his name Latif Sonar,
Hmm.
played with me at Carver and stuff, and I I think my freshman year. He told me his like after the season, he said, "Yo, they're having tryouts down at the Y." Because everything you had, he called me. I don't even know how he found out. I don't know if it was in the newspaper or something, anything like that. So I went down to the Y,
Hmm.
and when I went there, he's for trials. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try out for the team. Yo,
Yeah.
so it was crazy, especially the first time you seen.
Hmm.
It was you seeing people that you see in the Star Ledger.
Yeah.
So you see like I'm seeing Kenny, the state tournament. I mean, the all state teams back then. They used to like draw them like used to be not a
Right.
painting. They used
Like
to
the cartoon kind of.
cartoon it, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and you learning about these guys that you probably haven't seen play, but you're reading about
Hmm.
them all the time. You're looking at their scores and everything. Now I'm seeing all the all county players and all the all state players. Kenny Wilson going to Villanova.
Hmm.
Like I'm seeing all of these guys, and I'm looking up like, wow. And then we get to trying out for my age group, freshman.
Mhm.
And like I said, I thought it was pretty good, but there was some guys that were really good,
Yeah.
really good. But I eventually I made the team, and when I made that team, that 15 under team, that
Mhm.
changed everything about my life. I say basketball saved my life. Like that saved my life. Like
Mm.
AAU and Mr. Wim B, a dude named
Mhm.
Sam coached us at that time,
Okay.
Mr. Wilson and stuff. But like I got a unique perspective on that because I was a player and I did
Yeah, I know
coach.
later on. Yeah, I know later on. Right. Yeah.
So
But
I
back then, how did it save your life back then? I know you said it said. Well, I'm just curious about that.
say my life, like I look back because I was never like on the wrong path or anything, but I was still in one place. I was still, I was still around.
Mhm.
After making that team, I began to travel.
Yeah.
I began to, serious play basketball at a different level. And I didn't have time anymore to stay down the hill.
Okay.
I'm always at practice. I always have a tournament, always have a game, game somewhere.
Mhm.
So that changed the trajectory of my life because without that in AAU and basketball itself, I have a shirt that says basketball saved my life. Without that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd be doing. Like I haven't made $1 million playing basketball, but just getting on that path has changed everything about my life. A lot of my friends stayed where they were. You know what I mean? This was a vehicle for me, and I had some good people around me, great men that helped me get to that level. So, but that was crazy though, coming down there, man. That was
Nah, I think lot of people have done that. You walk up them steps, you don't know what you
yeah,
getting into, and once you on that second, third floor, whatever it was here, you just see the who's, as you just mentioned, even from
yo,
your time. It's just at 15 years old, is mind boggling.
yeah, it is, it is. It was
Nah.
amazing.
So even that 15-year-old in you, and you wind up just kind of probably going back the following season, like your game. I mean, just your mentality, not even just physically, but mentally. Like, yo, I've been around some things this past
Oh
summer.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Even when I was talking to Mike and I was watching the Mike, I called him right after watching Mike Boyd's
Hmm.
episode.
Yeah.
Called him right after. I was like, "Yo, you got the youth game stuff wrong." He's like, "Yeah, I know. I was thinking about when we was playing AAU and stuff.
We paid. Yeah.
'Cause youth games. That was the first time that I had. And Mr. Wembley did this for a lot of people. That was the first time I ever got on an airplane.
Wow.
Went to the
Yeah.
youth game, and I even watched Chiefs. Chief went to the same youth game I went to, but he said he
I
went to
know
both.
he bowled, and I know he's bowling.
But
Yeah.
I went down. We went down in Birmingham, and we ended up playing Mike and them in the was it in the semifinal? No, I'm sorry, it wasn't the semifinal. I forgot, but whatever we played Mike and them, whatever it was the quarterfinals or whatever, and they had a crew.
Hmm.
It was Mike Boyd, Bobby
Oh,
Hurley,
that team,
Jerry,
Jerry Walker,
yeah,
like
Chris Jordan, Lee
it's
Mullins.
like Sagunk, my man
So
from Wayne
yeah,
Hill, right, right, yeah.
right. They had a crew, and we beat them. We beat them. I think we beat them in overtime.
Wow.
We beat them overtime. My man Ty Scott, Sean
I
Evans,
was gonna ask who was on your team. I was just about to
yeah,
ask.
Easy Malik Cox.
Hmm.
Uh, oh my goodness, Steve Reed, this big tall white kid from Columbia.
Okay.
Craig Day. Craig passed away, but I mean Lance. Oh my God, Lance Miller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Lance Miller. Like we had a pretty decent team, but they had all all the big time name guys. But yeah,
Hmm.
that was one of the most memorable games of my life. Like I remember that
Oh,
game.
no, I
Oh,
had to be
we came
that.
back, put the press on them, came back and beat them in overtime.
Now, did y'all win it all, or y'all lost in the
No,
championship?
we came in third.
Third.
We
Okay.
came in third. We end up playing. We we won the prize of playing New York, who had Kenny Anderson,
Okay. Okay.
Brian Reese, I remember was on that team.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
lost by like 30. We were on such a high the night before after we won that game. It was crazy. We didn't have a curfew, anything like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
you're down south too, yeah.
yeah. We was at it was in Birmingham. We stayed at Samford. I think the game was at UAB maybe, but we stayed at Samford College. But yeah, Mr. Wynn was partying his ass off too. So yeah.
Nah, nah. Scott,
Yeah, we lost to them.
Scott, I mean, I don't know if you want 40 years, your statute of limitation, all that stuff here.
Mhm.
So whose address you use to get these starts?
Yeah, that's crazy. Marquise, Marquise was like Marquise recruited. A lot of people think Mr. Times came to recruit me or something. I didn't meet Mr. Times till I already knew I was going to come there.
Okay.
Marquise Derrick, he recruited me because that next year I played. When I was 16, I played up with the 17s.
Okay.
They saw something. Brian saw something in me. Mr. Wim saw something in me that I probably didn't even see myself. But I
Mm,
played with those guys, and me and Marquise became really close. That was like my big brother. We just call
okay.
each other cousins. So I
Mhm.
used his address, and
Okay.
it was never an issue. 58
Okay.
Blue Street. I remember to this day. Hope they
Yeah.
don't try to take our banners away or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Nah, still over an hour to get to school, even though it's supposed to be 10 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing. Right on in '94. And
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
it was a lot of us coming on in '94 all the way over to Scott too.
Oh yeah, nah, I'm sure some things going on. You mean,
It was a
nah,
lot of people.
nah. What made you want to just, even though I know you said Marquise, pulled you in, but what really, besides that, was any other reasons you just wanted to
It,
get out of North?
nah, I loved university. I was a big fish in a small pond.
Okay.
Um, and I knew after playing at that level, I kind of wanted to play at a different level. I used to read. I didn't know much about Scott either. I grew up in Newark, so in university, one thing about university, Weequay has two really small gyms. Like when
Hmm.
you cross, they don't even have a half court line. Like you got to cross a certain line, and then you can't go back a certain level, a
Hmm.
certain distance, whatever. They played all their home games at university. So I grew up watching the City League,
Okay.
right
Yeah. Yeah.
front and center. I'm watching all the City League teams, and that was a crazy different level of basketball. The
Hmm.
fandom, the intensity, you know what I mean, the skill and stuff of the players, how tall and big some of the guys were. But
Hmm.
I was like, I kind of want that. And Marquise talked to me about going there. The other school I was thinking about going to was Shabazz, because that's
Okay.
where my grandma down the hill, that was that address. So I
Hmm.
was there at Shabazz. But but me and Marquise became really close. And it was a great decision because Shabazz was too stacked for me. I looked at what we had at Scott. Like I went to see them in the summer league. I think we did play against them because I played for the Sonics back then.
Okay.
Second generation Sonics. Not with Water and Earl Flanagan and all of them.
Hmm.
I played with second generation, and we even played them. And I was like, I can start here. You know what I mean? Like not knocking none of them
Hmm.
because all of them were good, but it was a role for me on that team because
Hmm.
I knew I could play there, and
Yeah.
that it was that simple. I started a new chapter, went to Clifford Scott. One of the best decisions I ever made.
How was it? I mean, you mentioned about starting, so you got right in the mix starting as far as was it your
Yeah.
junior year you went there or your sophomore year?
My junior year.
Okay.
I went to my junior
Okay.
year. Yeah. My sophomore year, that's the year that Herman played at university, I remember. But my sophomore year, I knew I was at a level where I knew I could play.
Hmm.
Even I remember we played as a sophomore, they had a JV tournament. And I played varsity, but university varsity wasn't like that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I played in the JV tournament. And I remember we went to Scott. It was held at
You
Scott.
play at Scott, right? Right.
At Scott, yeah. And I remember playing East Orange High School, who had Bruton and I forgot this other dude. He could jump out the gym. I forgot his name. Rodney Bruton was the point guard. And East Orange is East Orange, so they had players.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys on my team, like they were my boys and stuff, but they weren't ball players like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I played that game and I was killing that game. I was it was one of them in the zone games.
Okay,
I
yeah.
board. Scott clocks were messed up, so it looked like the time was running down, but it really wasn't. It was just bulbs missing. So I even shot one from half court and made it. And there's no 3-point lines or nothing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew if I could play against them like the way I did, I was like, I know I could play at the next level with them if I came. And junior year, yeah, it was on the pop in junior year.
So you, Marquise, who you remember that starting lineup that junior year?
It was crazy because a lot of guys were ineligible. So
Okay.
we had a pretty good year, but not a great year. But Marquise, Corey Brooks, shit. Gerard was starting until he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I'm trying to remember who the other person was. I remember we had to wait for Ray and Hosta to think like the next semester or whatever.
Like that January kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like
February,
January.
February, yeah.
And Corey Brown. I think it was 3 of them we had to wait on. But
Mm-hmm.
I forgot everybody that started. I don't know if
Okay.
this dude went from down south. Sorry, but we had jokers, but that was a whole new level too. Like we had a guy on the team, and he don't even know how much I looked up to him and how I feel about him. Gabe McKinney.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe McKinney was the definition of intensity. Like that joker was intense, bro. Like I thought I played hard till I had to play against him in practice or whatever. And he played the same way in the game. Gabe was a dog. So that's where I learned a lot as far as levels. AAU and being a sophomore, you're playing around your age group and stuff, but this was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that schedule y'all played too. I know it
Yeah.
wasn't the city league, but I mean, so you got the Oranges, the Essex Catholics, the Wayne Valleys, and I'm forgetting some here. But
Yeah.
how was it with playing like Orange? Like I said, I'm a young boy, middle school, so I know thinking over trying to get over to the 4 o'clock game over at the high school playing like if you ain't there at a certain time, forget about it.
Nah, that was that. I had seen it. I'd have seen that type of crowd and stuff at university with Weekway and Shabazz and stuff like that. But to be a part of that, that's how I was in Orange. And that was my first time ever at Orange, anything. That was the one game I say I was shook that game. It was even on TV. I look back like, man,
TV3, yeah.
yo, them jokers dunking there. They whooped our ass. Mike be talking a lot of shit. They did whoop our ass that game.
That last year they went on. They only lost to one game to Shabazz, I
Yeah.
think, right? Okay.
They only lost to Shabazz.
Mm-hmm.
Only lost to Shabazz that game. But we kind of gave that game. We had them in the we played them, I think we might have played them 4 times. But we had them in the at least 3 times in the county semifinals.
Okay.
County semifinals. We went up 1. I don't know who I stole the ball from. Like I slapped the ball or something from one of their big men. We up 1 under a minute left. So I'm thinking the game is won.
Yeah.
I gave it to Corey, and he kind of lost the ball, and Mike got him at half court, and he swiped at it. Then he got a intentional foul and everything. Changed everything. But we were in that game. I wasn't scared after that first game.
Okay.
But nah, we had them. We had them. But those games were crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Those games were crazy. The crowd participation, like you said, if you weren't there early or got a ticket or something, you couldn't even get in.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get in those games. Like I go to high school. When I went to other high school games, I was like, wow, you guys really don't know. It's a lot of adults here, but nah, it was the whole schools came out. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah.
Alumni
Oh yeah.
came. It was crazy back then.
Oh yeah, that junior. How you remember how far y'all got in the States?
Yeah, we lost to Shabazz. We lost to
Okay.
Shabazz in the it might have I don't know if it was like I don't know if it was the section final because we made a run. We made a run in the state. We went up to like Mount Olive, then we went up to like West Essex or something like that, and
Hmm.
might have been somebody else, but we ended up playing Shabazz at Cranford. I think that was for the section.
Okay.
One of the craziest games. Marquise went ballistic. He fouled out. He fouled out damn near half the team. We lost by one. I think it was one. The only problem is we couldn't make free throws. We shot, I
Mhm.
think, 20 for 52 from the foul line.
Ooh.
And
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's because Marquise got so many fouls on everybody.
And he had
Reg,
the young boys playing like the Ed Fosters and like they were probably
yeah, they had Al and Reg and F Big Ed, my man. That's my
big.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ed played and they everybody they had. He fouled everybody out.
He just went to work. Yeah.
Yo, Marquise was a beast. He fouled
Hmm.
everybody out of that game. Like he couldn't make a damn free throw though.
Okay.
And I forgot how much he had. He definitely had 30 something.
Okay. Yeah.
And we lost by one. I remember I fouled out the game.
Mm.
Yeah. I fouled out the game. And those are our boys because we played AAU with them.
That's right. That's right.
With Reggie and Al Ray. And the funny thing,
Mm.
like being at, since we going deeper into the state around that time, I remember being at the Wild. We go to the Wild for tryouts and stuff, but we couldn't play because we were still there. But we just there watching and stuff. And we all there. Reggie, I remember Reg, Al, Reggie Collins, Al Ray and stuff.
Mhm.
And they talked a lot of shit, Shabazz.
Yeah.
Reggie, they talked a lot of shit. So we down there talking. He's like, no, these are boys. We ain't gonna be talking shit and all this, all this. As soon as they get the tip off, I got this motherfucker.
Hmm.
Yo,
Yeah.
it was crazy. And Reggie Collins, one of my favorite. He one of my favorite players.
Nice. 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 Yeah.
Reg, I think Reg had like 16, but the way he got to 16 when he came down, Reg was crazy, man. And Al Ray, ain't nothing to say about Al Ray. Al Ray was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Now looking back, I know y'all playing against each other, the 5, 10 players there, but coaches, you got Coach Tynes, you got Lou Grimsley. Like, did you know this who they were back then? Looking back at it now.
Nah, because it was funny. I had seen Lou when I seen because remember I watched the city league. I
Hmm.
I might be I don't know if I'm wrong, but Lou had just started coaching varsity either that year or the year before. I
Okay.
forgot the other coach, but I knew who he was. I didn't know the legend of Lou Grimsley till
Yeah.
later.
Hmm.
And then when I went to Scott, I learned about Mr. Tynes. And
Hmm.
then he'd show us sometimes in
I was gonna
practice.
ask, did he do anything in practice? Sure.
Yeah, he gave us gas a couple times in practice, like when he would like being this, like if we were playing like a scout team, like we practicing against somebody, and we have to play a zone against this person, this person. I remember one time Mr. Times was hitting shit. He was shooting from everywhere, bro, and this shit wasn't
Mm.
even hitting the rim. It's like, man, I want to shoot like that.
Yeah.
But Mr. Times, my God.
Then speaking of, Mr. Tynes here, I hear like he used to have to stop practice here and there in regards to because you always had to blow your nose and always had you said
He
you catch some
said,
tissue. You catch some tissue with your shorts. I mean, I don't know if there's any truth to that.
yo, that's the story of my life. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
story of my life. I,
Allergies, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Was it?
I guess it was like looking back. I guess it was allergies. I never thought twice about it. I always had to
Hmm.
get some tissue. I used to pull it out or whatever, blow my nose. I got friends since we were in kindergarten that know me now that still talk about me in tissue and everything.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's funny. I know sometimes.
Well, no, no,
But
I didn't get it from him. I didn't get it from him.
oh, you didn't get it from me?
One of your teammates shared it with me. What did
Oh
you?
well, they're absolutely correct. That definitely
Yeah.
happened. That happened
Okay.
more than a few times. That was a regular thing.
Yeah. Now Gerard said something. He told me. He told
Yeah,
me.
he my man. Me
Yeah,
and Jeezy like that. But yeah,
hmm
he a
yeah.
funny guy.
That's funny. Then now is Marquise? He was a year ahead of you, or was
Yeah,
he?
he was a year ahead of.
So he leaves. Do y'all reload? Do y'all just? I mean, like
Yeah,
you
like
lose that all
we
state or you know,
well, like after Marquise leaves, like we just looked around and been like, yo, now we have everybody back for the beginning of the year. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If everyone would have been there for the whole year, we definitely would have been better, been able to get more chemistry and all of that stuff. But we knew like we had something. And it
Mhm.
was seven of us, seven seniors,
Yeah. Mm.
and Keith, because Keith played as a freshman and sophomore,
Hmm.
like major minutes. And well, he had played as a freshman. So he is coming back. And then we had a bunch of really good young guys, good
Hmm.
freshmen and sophomores. Like, so so practice was, we had some dope ass practices. Practices definitely were better than a lot of the games, definitely in our conference.
Hmm.
We had a lot of talent, like Jermaine
Ice,
Mathis.
yeah, ice, yeah,
I, I ain't see Ice in a minute, but Ice as a freshman came in. He came in and told me he's like, I'm taking your spot.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
I
Mm.
laughed at him, but I liked his confidence. But like, because he was good, but
Yes,
I'll let no freshman take my spot, bro.
yeah.
But that's the type of swag they had. Yeah, but
Now,
we were good. We had a crew.
now let me ask: was that the Scott team that you kind of got some redemption back with Orange being about like 80 something points?
Yeah, we did about
Was
82.
yeah,
82. Yeah, I was watching Mike. I was like, yeah, that's why next year we beat the shit out of you. Like
yeah.
114-32, I think it was.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah. That was crazy. That was we were just out there doing what we were told to do. But
I'm sure Mr. Tynes wanted to give it to you know. Yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah,
sure. I'm
I think
sure.
him and Mr. Thompson had something.
Yeah, there was some things. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm sure. Now
yeah.
that team itself, though, like I get to the counties. Yeah, I knew it was all it was for the taking.
Yeah, we and I watched Gerard talk about this. Like we lost in the Christmas tournament to passing East Side. Shouldn't have lost that game.
Is
Lost
that with
Essex.
James Scott? Was that James Scott there, or was it?
That's the James Scott team. Yeah, he was a
Okay.
sophomore, but he was really good. But we I don't know. We I don't know what the deal was with us that game. Um, and then we lost to Essex Catholic at their place. Uh, and we had a crazy comeback led by Brian Taylor. But after that, we went on a nice run and we gained a lot of confidence. Just going through the county, we had too much confidence because we played North Tech. I don't know who we played for. I think we played Orange first, but they weren't. After that group with J. Rob and Mike and all them left, they were depleted. So we beat them, but we played North Tech, and we really, I know I did, but I think a lot of us were really kind of looking past North Tech.
Mhm.
They gave us everything. Tariq, I knew Tariq. Tariq was killing us. They they led most of the game. Like that was one of those games. Like damn, they could beat us, and we were the number one seed.
Mhm.
Um, but then one of our seniors, Derrick Johnson, came off the bench, went crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hitting everything. 1, 2 dribble pull-ups. Mr. Tons used to tell him, don't pass the ball anything. He's like, just shoot. When you get it, just shoot the damn ball. He shot
Mm.
that night and he was killing. He was like the
Mm.
microwave. Yeah.
Mm.
Like that was it. And then May we played Ira.
Seton
Ira
Hall. Okay. Now y'all played them in the finals, or y'all played them in?
we played them in semis. Wait,
Okay.
yeah, semis. Play
Okay.
Seton Hall. Yeah. We had a pretty good game against them. We didn't really have a problem with them. And then it was back to our guy Shabazz. We had beat them at Scott early in the year.
Now this is with Eric. Now this is with Eric, or was this with
Eric wasn't
or
he wasn't that Eric. You know what I mean? It was with
okay,
Malik,
or
Easy,
and Mitchell?
Big
And,
Ed,
yep.
Dow Cutler, um, Dutney. Um, they were like outside of ease, they were like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
They had the front line was crazy.
Hmm.
but we still had Ray Good. We still had
Mm-hmm.
Hassan LaBee, and they blocking shots, they rebounding, they getting layups. Like we really had it. We really had a crew. We were a really good high school team because we it was hard to really stop us when I think Gerard said it when we played together because none of
Mm-hmm.
us stood out head and shoulders above anybody else. But we were a really good unit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody. I mean, it sounded like nobody really cared who scored as long as that was just
Corey Brown, I think, was the leading scorer, and I think he averaged about 13 points.
wow. So that's balanced.
Yeah, we were balanced across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, he led us with like 13. I think me and Ray had averaged around 12 or something like that.
So you
But
get you a chip. How was it? You get you a chip, man. How that county chip?
oh
That had to
man,
be a good feeling.
that was the best, especially beating Shabazz down at the county and with everybody there and everything.
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
was crazy. And I never talked to Mr. Thomas about this. Like I didn't even play the last X number of minutes of the game. He took me out the game. He told me that he said, because I remember taking the ill-advised 3, and he said something like, "You trying to, he like I was trying to win MVP or I was trying to do something like that."
Okay.
And I really was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was. I was actually like I was like I wanted like I think I can make this shot. I ain't never see a shot I ain't think I can make. But he was right. Mr. Thomas was on point. I think I was in that moment. It was definitely a selfish shot, and he took my ass out. I ain't played the
Mm.
last maybe 3 minutes or so with the county, but it ain't. I still celebrated the same way.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
We had an awesome. That was awesome, man. That was history. Little did we know.
that's right.
Last team, last team to do it from East Orange.
Yeah, looking back on it. Yeah, now you get that and you get another run at the states here. So y'all already
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
so I forgot. I don't even know who we played. I think we might have had a bye first, but I'm not sure. But I know we played Weequay first game at our home. And maybe it wasn't the first, but definitely at least the second game at home.
Now they have Marquise then or the Mar
Weequay, yes,
okay,
yeah. He played like one of my best friends. He was their point guard, James Anderson.
okay.
We played them, and they played us really tough. They went up they were up I think after the first quarter or something like that. But we took them lightly. At that point, we really were feeling ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were feeling ourselves. And I remember they was talking shit after the first quarter and all this stuff. And we was like, all right, yo, let's turn it up. And we turned it up and we kind of cruised from there. And I remember Mr. Tynes came in the locker room after and he said, y'all really don't think anybody can beat y'all, do y'all? And we was like, no. We really felt that way. We didn't feel like anybody could beat us at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Phillipsburg the next time. And
Mm-hmm.
uh that was humbling because you know a team from Phillipsburg, New Jersey, whatever, coming to our house and say like, all right, our fans, this is the seniors' last game at home. They got
Mm-hmm.
the little, the cardboard signs and everything and all that. And we fell behind to them. They tried to do a lot of they're trying to mind screw us a little bit.
Okay.
And we let some of this stuff get to us. I think they took our basket that we usually shoot on first. They switched that. They were standing there like half court and stuff. I still remember this stuff. But
Mm.
it was a nip and tuck game. And I remember us finally taking the lead, I think by 3. And I heard G talk about people blaming it on a shot. That shot was me. I took an ill-advised. I wasn't being selfish or anything at that point, but it was just a move I thought that I've made a million times. I just got the ball, jab to the left, went baseline for a jump shot, but it wasn't the right time to shoot it. I missed it. They got it. Came down, hit a 3, and I think they went. Maybe we were up 2, and they might have went up 1 with the 3 or something like that. But it was a crazy situation here. Like that was when we should have held the ball out. And it's funny because I'm like, I always have a coach's mind, but I wasn't thinking shit about holding the ball out. Then I was like, we need to score right now. But I took an ill-advised shot. That was the most heartbreaking loss of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I felt, really responsible for that shit. Even though you think back, you can't lose a game on your own. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't come to play. But that point, that was hard. That was hard to live with for a number of years, man. I had good teammates though, even though they ain't like that shit. They kind of blame me. They still realized that it wasn't just, but that was hard, man.
Nah, I hear you. Because like you said, it's a team sport, and you can't put it on one play. But still, in all, to you, they go to tissue. Yeah. But
Wouldn't be me.
yeah. But again, so Phillipsburg, wow, because when I think of them, it's like a football school. When I back then, I don't. So yeah, yeah.
But the crazy, I didn't even come to school the next day. I was sick. The crazy thing, they weren't a bad team. They beat Shabazz.
Okay.
We would have played Shabazz again for
But
the
they beat
third
them,
time.
yeah.
So,
Wow.
we're looking past everybody. We're looking for this. Let's get
That
this
tournament
Shabazz.
champions, wasn't it the tournament started around that time, did it?
That was the first year of the tournament champions.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the very first tournament champions that year. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was it, man. And that's how high school ended, man. That's how high school basketball ended.
Now, while you playing, I mean, Mr. Tynes with his connections and everything else here, was you thinking about moving on, playing at the another high level as far as college during that time?
Yeah, because I did play a lot of AAU. Like I didn't even play that much summer league. I was away, and we had a really good AAU team and stuff like that. So, and still 5-star and all those things. So I got a couple of looks. When it came down to it, one of the schools was Morgan State, and I took a visit there, and I really liked it. I was cool with going to Morgan State, but then the coach told me he wanted me to go to a junior college for a year or something like that. And I was like, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
So I got recruited by Springfield College in Massachusetts. That's where I ended up going.
Birthplace of basketball.
Birthplace of basketball, exactly. I ended up going to Springfield College. It was D2 at the time. And I met dude I consider my brother now. He's from New York, Earl Elliott. And Springfield College, it wasn't I would have rather have gone to an HBCU. This was the opposite of that. But it's purpose. I got my degree and everything, and it worked out for me. I learned a lot from my coach. My freshman year there was terrible. The head coach at that time, had his sons playing. And his son, to me, was playing in my spot. So I couldn't get on the court. He got fired the next year. And I started playing right at when my other coach, Mike Thulin, took over. And coach, and he was the best. Him and my assistant coach, Brett Bishop. Oh my goodness, I can't forget the other guys. I'm forgetting Coach Pearson. Those were great guys. I learned a lot of basketball from them, and we had a decent run at Springfield.
Now, and being up there, interesting that I live not too far. I'm in Hartford, so
Okay, right there.
yeah, so I'm like right there.
From there.
So I know you play like the AICs of the world, the Southern Connecticut's, probably the New Havens, and just being up there, just playing here. So even at that level, as far as even D2 here, like just did you see the difference from high school? Just whether it was the mentally or whatever, physically, did you see
Oh
a
yeah.
big difference?
It definitely took some getting used to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different level of intensity, a different level of preparation, different level of commitment. You know what I mean? Having to get up at 6 a.m. to go lift, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Yeah, it was different in those practices. But once you get used to it, like, with most things, we adapt the more we do it. So I adapted, and after that, definitely after that first year, it was cool. That's the only time at that point, too, that I had been out of the country. We had a tournament out in Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we won a tournament out in Ireland. I think it was one of the celebrations for basketball. I don't know what year it was, but we did that. So nah, but it was definitely an adjustment.
Mhm. And as you're playing and just being up there, that basketball life, that clock ticks differently for everybody here. Did you know
Yeah.
as far as it coming to an end, or did you want to pursue anything professionally while you was up there,
Now I knew at that point that I wasn't good enough to play in the NBA, anything like that.
or like
So,
overseas or something like that? Yeah.
but yeah, nothing like that.
Okay.
My At that point, like I always when me and Mike Boyd talk about it, like he says, like even when you played, you were a coach on the
Mm.
team, on the floor, and everything like that. So at that point, I wanted to get more into coaching. Like even in college, I remember one of our coaches having us do certain drills, like us defending from the top of the key, working on that. And I'm like, why do we keep doing this? Why aren't we working on defending from the wing? I defend from the wing. I don't defend from the top of the key most of the time. You know what I mean? So I'm already thinking like that. So I knew coaching was the next thing I wanted to do. My dream was to be a college coach. I wanted to be the next John Thompson because I was a Georgetown. Georgetown was everything to me.
Hmm.
You know, I even remember seeing John Thompson at the first uh, at Boo Williams tournament down in Virginia for the first
Oh.
time.
Mm.
Yeah. And I was like, wow. I was like, I want to be Coach Thompson. I want to be another black coach that wins a national championship. That was my
Mm.
dream. So I started following coaching right after that.
What's your first coaching gig?
Um, well, the first coaching gig was coming back to and well, interestingly, Mr. Tynes, the first one, if you want to call it a gig,
Hmm.
after senior year in the summer league, he let me coach the Coach Keefe and those guys in the summer
Okay.
league.
Okay.
You know? So he obviously he saw something in me as well. So he
Right.
let me
Right.
coach them. But after college, I went right with B.
Wow.
Transition from the North Y to the North Rams.
Mm.
Um, and B gave me my start,
Wow.
and I started working with B. And from even working with B, I got my first high school job. I was one of the youngest head coaches. I coached at us, and this had to do with B. B helped give me this job. I coached I think I coached with Mr. Tynes a year. I did coach with Mr. Tynes a year. And then I coached at Bailey Ellard High School in Madison.
Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit about me. I went to Immaculate, so we paid Bailey Ellard every year.
Oh yeah.
Cause I went in the early '90s. I'm familiar with Bailey Ellard
Okay.
up there in Madison or somewhere in Morris County somewhere. Yeah.
It's in Madison. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that was my first coaching job. Damn, I forgot my man at AD. That was my man. He gave me my first shot. I was there for 2 years. I was there for 2 years, and I loved it, but I wanted to be more in I wanted it wasn't the same level up in Morris County. And I wasn't able to get the kind of keep to get the kids that I wanted because I was out recruiting and everything like that.
Hmm.
So I went back to coach at Scott, Mr. Tynes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I coached there for a year. So I would coach high school, and right after high school, I coached AAU. I coached year round,
Wow. Yeah.
year year round. So like I coached a lot of Scott teams, and I even went from Scott with Mr. Tynes to campus,
Okay.
and I was still doing the same thing. But the first one was with B. I coached 14-year-old. You might hold on. So you might I don't know. Remember a kid named Jamal Tate from Linden? He went to Penn State. Tate was
Okay.
on my team. I had 14-year-olds. He started me off with the 14-year-olds, and I just kept
I
going up.
wasn't just learning from like being, Mr. Tynes. Like, what were you? I know you just probably soaking everything up, but were you still
Yeah.
developing your style as you was learning from them?
Yeah, I'm developing my style, but I'm learning. I'm clearly taking things from all of them. With B, and I watched B's interview too. I don't think B really touched on it as much. Our philosophy at the Rams was developmental basketball. So that was kind of how I coached, definitely AAU. Developmental basketball meaning like if you were a good catch and shoot person, you're not just gonna catch and shoot with us. You got to get the ball. You got to be able to put it on the floor too. We're not gonna let you just sit in your comfort zone and play that way. So that's how I coached, and that's how I learned to coach from B. Mr. Tons was more so like his game management, when I should probably give the timeout. I wanted to have his tone, but Mr. Tons was way too cool. Mr. Tons wouldn't even yell at you. Like he'd just say some shit to you, and you'd be like, he wouldn't even yell. He'd just whisper. He's like, so yo, you think you want? I see what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like you'd be like,
Yeah.
I've been called. I can say it, Mr. Tons. I remember, and I learned this too from Mr. Tons. I remember one game we played in the state tournament, Marquise year, my junior year. I remember double pump. It was like towards the end of the half. I was getting a layup or something. I had to double pump, and the dude hit me on the head. I missed the layup right before. So in the locker room, he was saying something to me, and he called me, and I forgot what Brian did, but he called us pussies. Now, that didn't affect me. Like that pissed me off, but it ain't pissed me off where I wanted to pout and I want to go tell my mother, nothing like that. I came out and I had a hell of a start for the third quarter because that motivated me. I'm like, I'm gonna show you who a pussy is. That was my thing. So I don't know if Miss Sons knew how to push certain people, but I did learn also that you have to treat people fair, but not necessarily the same. You know what I mean? Like I could feed off that. Somebody else might go in the hole. You know what I mean? That might put them down and stuff like that. But I learned that, I got stuff from my college coach, but Mr. Tons and B, definitely the two I took from the most. Like you got Craig Brandon coached with us from Montclair. I took stuff from Craig. I love Craig. But coaching with the Rams and coaching at that level and allowing me to be me and do all the things I wanted to do. Yeah. And I say if B, I don't want to say they're my favorite team because I had so many, but one of my favorite teams was a team with Mike Nardi, Jesse Holly, Tony Wilson, Sasha Kaur, Dave McSwain from Eastside, Calvin O'Neill. Like we had a really good team. And I had them, I think, 15, 16. I don't think I had them 14. I might have had them 14 because Bryce had one thing about the Rams, and I didn't hear B talk about this. We had a lot of people that really made that shit work, bro. Like Bryce Street, Derrick Brown, Yogi O'Neal, Tonette O'Neal. Like we had so many coaches and people who poured Bobcats and poured a lot to make that thing work. I can tell you I can do a whole thing about North Rams itself.
Yeah.
But I definitely took from all of them, man. But B allowed me to be me. And if I'd have had that team, we would have beat Tim. I think it was Tim Thomas. I don't know if it was Tim Thomas. No, it wasn't Tim Thomas players then. Was it? We'd have beat Jimmy and them that year. That was the only time they beat us in the AAU because the AAU was a big thing back then. AAU states.
Right. Oh no, I remember. I remember. Now you nationals. How'd you do with nationals? Make any runs?
We had some good runs. A good run in nationals. A few good runs, but with that particular team, we had a good run. The only problem was Assad and Aswan had summer school, so we didn't have our whole team. But Jesse Holly and Tony and another kid named John Dennis, they used to put on a show, man. A lot of people come to our games to see us play.
Yeah, and just a little sidebar, even with me, just you taking me back just a tad bit here. I played in North Rams 14. I want to say I was 14. And then I know we switched over. They wound up grabbing the team in East Orange for a quick second here. And my team has some East Orange boys you might know. Brev played. I played with Brev.
Oh yeah.
Here's another Scott boy. I don't know
Okay.
Derrick. I don't know if you remember Derrick Strong. Remember Derrick?
Yeah. Big Derrick
Yeah,
Strong.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So they were on the teams as well too. So I know you mentioned the states with the AUs and how intense those are like crazy intense, and it was a
yeah.
blast. And then even that nationals going out to nationals those couple of years that I did play. So it was real cool. It was real
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. It was way different than it was. It's been the past maybe 10, 15 years. That was the biggest show in town back then.
Oh yeah, between
Yeah.
Rams, Road Runners, was it
Yup.
Jersey Shore? I
Central
think it was a
Jersey,
team. Central
yeah,
Jersey,
Central
right?
Jersey, Central Jersey had a team. Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
was it the Jersey Shore Warriors?
Something like that. Correct.
I think
Correct.
so. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
even with all that, I mean, that coaching and what have you here, and again, I'm just going to switch to a tiny bit.
Hmm.
You got an education, you got to the schools. Was that your way? I mean, coaching and teaching are pretty much interchangeable here. But you knew you wanted to be in the school system?
Well, when I was kind of struggling to figure out what I wanted to do. I did know I wanted to coach. Towards the end of my college, towards the end of college, I knew I wanted to work with kids because I had worked with kids a lot. I didn't get
Okay.
my degree in teaching. I changed my major a few times: sports management, recreation management. Then me and my brother Earl, we didn't really have a lot of good guidance as far as you know the classes we needed to take.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, I took a lot of psychology class. No, not sociology
Mhm.
classes. I'm gonna just get my degree in sociology. You can't do shit with sociology. You know what I mean? But I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And Mr. Woods was our assistant coach at Scott. And he used to tell me, you should think about teaching. He was like, you make a good living, this and that, this and that. And I knew I had summers off, I could coach AAU. So it worked out perfectly for me. So I said, all right, I'm going to be a teacher because my ultimate goal was still to be a college coach.
Mhm.
So I did the AAU thing. I worked at camps. I tried to, I did all those things. So teaching made a whole bunch of sense to me. And then I was lucky enough. I've coached back at the school I graduated from. I went back to work at the school I went to. The principal hired me like on the spot. We need, male teachers. Everybody wanted male teachers.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that worked out, and I've been there for 30 years.
Yeah. And you mentioned as far as even the whole college, did you attain that goal?
Oh yeah, I got my degree.
Uh, no, college coaching.
Oh no, no, no. Nah, I never did. I had a shot. I think it was going out somewhere to like Wyoming. I was like, oh, I don't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
And other and at the time, a lot of guys that I was in the grind with were getting jobs, but it was a lot of Italian guys getting jobs, getting put on by what I mean, their people and everything. So there came a point where I was like, man, I'm not gonna keep doing this shit forever. I like coaching high school. I like coaching AAU.
Mhm.
I like teaching. I'm cool with that. So I just stayed. That's when I said I'm just gonna coach AAU in high school and stuff, and I was good with that.
Now the whole family piece here, like any of that crossed your mind along the way? Hey, like, hey, I mean, I'm getting older. I need to.
Nah,
No,
never.
okay,
It didn't
okay,
cross my mind until I got older, 30 something. Uh, Me and my wife, well, my wife, my ex-wife, we divorced 2 years ago, but
okay,
we got together. I don't even remember. I was around. I forgot how old I was. 30 something. But we've been married. We were married probably about 14 years.
okay.
Um, but back then I wasn't thinking about anything like that. But eventually I married. I have two beautiful daughters in ninth
Hmm.
and 10th grade.
Yeah,
Um, doing great in school. I have a ball with them. Never ended up with that son. I wanted a son.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah,
Wanted
yeah.
a son. But after getting over that, I loved it. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Nah, I hear you. I have a daughter. I have a 10-year-old, and it was one of those. I'm like, I'm cool because next go around, like to your point here, having a boy here, I was like, I'm not gonna roll that dice. I'll stick with the
Yeah,
one. And I got two women that run my life. I love them to
yeah,
death between her and my wife. So I'm good. I was good with that. So I get it. I get it.
yeah.
I get it.
And
Now
that's
even
I did roll the dice. I was like, all right, this
yeah.
one's definitely gonna be a boy. Nah. I was like, I'm not having three girls, so this is gonna have to do.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I definitely hear you. Now, uh, New Jersey Elite, how'd that come about?
Oh man. So even before Jersey Elite, after I split with B, we didn't have any like beef or anything like that. It was just that at this point now, I kind of want to spread my wings. You know what I mean? I want to run an organization.
Hmm.
So I actually had a team called Team Kenny Anderson.
Okay.
So my boy Brian Bartley was the go between us and Kenny. And I've met Kenny a few times and stuff. So he sponsored us with some things like that. And then I got Bryce introduced me to Galen, and who had the what was I think Galen's team was the Cyclones.
Okay.
New Jersey Cyclones. At the time he had Kasim Drummond, Deshaun Butler,
Mhm.
um, you know, and G was doing it kind of big. We just meshed together. We formed the Metro Hoops company,
Okay.
doing clinics, and we had a little magazine. We had all kind of little stuff, tournaments, and then we had Team Jersey Elite,
Hmm.
and pretty much that's what I came in from that collective.
Okay.
So
Now,
did yeah for a while.
now just doing all that, like you said, you doing your own thing. Like, how was it? One, you running the show, or you and your partners are running the show, and like just kind of just getting that off the ground. Like, how much work is it? Some people don't realize how much work that is.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of uh, there's a lot of money that you're
Hmm.
spending. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Sometimes it's thankless. People want you to pick their kids up and bring them to practice and drop them off. I didn't come
Hmm.
up like that with the Ram, with the Newark Y. We all took the train or the bus to the Y for practice and
Hmm.
stuff. So, so it was really different, you know. But I loved it. It's what I like to do. But after a while, it just became a little bit much. So merging with Galen and us forming Team Jersey, that took a lot of the financial burden and some of the other burdens off of just me. Because it wasn't just me. It was me with Team Kenny Anderson. It was me. It was Yogi O'Neal. It was Bryce. It was Hakeem Williams. We had a
Hmm.
whole pool of people. You can't do this without people.
Oh
You
no,
know,
no,
you
definitely.
have to have good people working with you, and working with Galen and Carl Towns, Big
Hmm.
Carl. Big
Hmm.
Carl used to work with us. We were working out little Carl, Cat. They call him Cat and shit.
Yeah.
He was a little boy. But yeah, we had a lot of we had some really we had a lot of success with Team Jersey. We were at that time, it was cool. It was better to be a sneaker sponsored team. And we
Okay.
were a Reebok sponsored team.
Okay.
So I did that. I
Wow.
did that and eventually ended up with team final in Philly.
Hmm. Okay.
That was my
So you
last
made
stop.
that. So you made that track down to Philly as far as
Yeah.
that's where the
I
facility.
started
Okay.
I started it wasn't after doing it so much. Well, I have a great relationship with the guys down in Philly and all that. It
Okay.
started with Tyrone Johnson, who went to Plainfield and ended up going to Montrose Academy, and then to Villanova, ended up in South Carolina. But Tyrone was our guy. Tyrone, Derrick Gordon that went to Seton Hall. He went to a couple of schools, ended up at Seton Hall. Kelvin Amayo. Started with them. When I broke that team up, I was like, I couldn't really do it anymore. I went with Rob and Team Final, and that's a Nike sponsored team doing everything. And then I think Kelvin and Derrick I put with Dana at Long Island Lightning. And then a couple years later, Rob Brown, the director of Team Final, he wanted to just play more of a director role because he was coaching. I was coaching with him, with Mike Gilchrist and I forgot Trev name. I call him Trev Hollywood. Trev Cooney, who went to Syracuse, and those guys. We had an unbelievable team. But I ended up taking over the 17s in like 2 years. And we had some success. So that was a pretty big deal.
How was it? How was your relationships with the high schools, just throughout the state or even outside of Jersey? I mean, you're doing the AAU circuit, but in the same breath, you need players to keep it running. So, how was your relationships with the coaches?
Well, my relationship with the coaches while I was here was pretty cool. When I was working with the Jersey teams, it's always that thing about when you're with like it was a little different for me because I was usually with a high school and an AAU team. So people were a little leery because they think I'm going to try to take their kid and bring them to whatever high school I'm at. And there were some times I did, but that wasn't always the case. But I had a pretty good relationship. I had a really good relationship with Kevin Boyle and Ray and them over at St. Pat's, and I even worked with Nick, and I even took over for a year at Bloomfield Tech with Nick and Kenny P. So I had good relationships. The Philly people, they're not really my people, the high school people like that. I was just the Jersey guy that was coming in. I'm sure people would make that for a while. You know, that was it. I didn't have a great relationship with them, but I didn't have much of a relationship. But you know, I'm pretty much cool with everybody.
Now, coaching now, I mean, are you doing anything now?
I don't even want to be near a sideline.
How come?
Not even close. I feel like I gave all I had to give.
Okay.
Like I was at a tournament when my first daughter was born because she was a little earlier. I was like, I'll get back by the time. I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I look back, I've given a lot to basketball, a lot of my time, even my time away from my kids. You know, financially, I could have taken that money and done a lot of other things. But I don't regret it. But I feel like I don't have any more to give. I'm good. I look at some of the guys like Sandy and them who are like lifers, being them. I'm like, I'm amazed at how they can still be like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't even watch college basketball the same because I'm used to watching college basketball where either I know a lot of the players because I coached them or I competed against them. So I don't really know these guys. So I look at NBA basketball more now. But nah, the coaching, it's still in me. I can look and say, oh, I would do this or that. But I can't even work kids out now because I can't this is a whole different type of skill level. Not skill level, but things are different now. I can't teach kids how to make layups off the wrong leg. Like it's not in me.
Right.
You know what I mean? We learned a certain way, which was just that way. It wasn't even the right way. It was just that way because this way works fine. You know, we used to say don't jump in the air and pass the ball. I used to be like, how the fuck can't you jump in the air and pass the ball? You need to jump in the air and pass the ball sometimes. You know what I mean? So you get stuck with that stuff sometimes, but I can't coach now. I still love basketball, but I can't coach.
Being in AAU so long here, how you feel it is right now? Again, I could be the old grumpy guy and be like, hey, it ain't like it's different and this and that, but you think it's improved for the better or the worse? I think I know the answer, but I just thought I'd ask.
Definitely the worst. Definitely the worst. It's super watered down now. The inmates run the asylum. You know what I mean? Like everybody now has, and with the NIL money, people used to have handlers before. So now, you know, if you get a kid who's a pretty good basketball player, you don't have to wait for him to become an NBA player to cash in on him. If he's pretty good, he can make some money in college and never see an NBA floor. And that's worth, you know, for a lot of handlers, that's worth it. So you have too many people in on it now. even AAU teams, some kids used to get paid, but way more kids getting paid. You know, there's so many teams. You can't throw a rock without hitting the AAU team now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, I don't like where it's gone.
How about high school itself? Here?
I don't like high school either. High school, the way I see high school now is I see a lot of kids that play basketball versus basketball players. Like
Okay.
that was our thing. We played basketball
Like you said
all
earlier, yeah, sun up to sundown. Yeah.
all the time.
Mhm.
These guys game. You know what I mean? Like that's why
Mhm.
you can go get some shots up at any park at any given time. They're inside. We were always outside. So that's a little different. And the Catholic schools after that run, there used to be a time where only the public schools outside of St. Anthony's were powerhouses because all the talent went to the public schools. After that
Mhm.
shift now, it's probably gotten worse. All the talent is really being drained from the local schools,
Mhm.
different
Yeah.
charters, and yeah. So it'll never be the same. Never be the same.
And interesting you say that because I think about like these associations. I know I'm a butcher the acronym, but even like in Jersey, was it the NJIW? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I think about that like it won't be long before people just doing things more independently and really don't need them. And I'm
I,
sure they're
I,
trying to creatively trying to figure it out, but it might come a
yeah.
time people don't even need them.
No, they don't. They don't. And the other thing too about high school, like, and some kids still think, and I don't know how many people are hip to it. You don't really need your high school team if you're trying to go to college. You haven't for a long time. AAU basketball is going to help you get to college way quick. I don't want to say quicker, but you'll get more eyes on you on the road than you ever will at your high school. You know what I mean? So people thought, yeah, I want to go here because I want to get into a good school. It's like, they're not coming to your school, bro. You
And I
need to play
think, yeah.
get on the circuit.
And I think
So
about the elite teams, the overtime, the elite teams, and the one
yeah,
school in New York. I'm drawing a blank, Lutheran. I just think about like some of the schools like
yeah,
they
yeah,
played. I mean, some of the places they go and play now, and yeah,
yeah.
it is. Yeah, folks are
Right.
independently doing things.
Yeah, you don't need to be part of NJSIAA.
Hmm.
And then then they stopped the tournament of champions. I thought that was crazy.
I know.
I thought that was crazy. That's some people that are mad for some reason and flexing their power. We get that the Catholic schools are typically going to win it, but that's part of the law when you get those public schools to come in and have a shot. When
Right,
Orange
and that's
won,
an orange one. Yeah,
yeah,
be Patterson Catholic. Yeah,
yeah,
be
that's a
Jimmy
big
and them.
deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep,
So it's interesting to see the landscape and where all this is going to end up at. But I think like that one and all these other ones that run these states here, eventually, I mean, they're going to be by the wayside here because things are just independently and folks are more smarter and there's other ways to get to the end goal here. I mean, you mentioned AAU and I'm dating myself with this one here. I think about like somebody like a Jamal Tinsley. He ain't play high school, boy. It was
right,
like the whole AAU circuit. I got him to Iowa State and
yep.
everything else into the league. Yeah,
Indiana Pacers, right?
correct,
Yep,
correct, correct.
yeah, man. You don't really need it. Like even these elite kids don't need it anymore. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, it's great for kids because they say the best thing you can do is have kid. Every kid should be doing something from 3 to 5 because that's when kids get in the most trouble. You know what I mean? And that goes back to that thing when I say about basketball saving my life. 3 to 5, I was always somewhere. I, w-
Hmm.
I wasn't gonna get in trouble. I was usually at school, basketball season or not,
Hmm.
or after that practice or anything like that. So it is great for that. But the level of basketball, no, it's not a very high level of basketball right
Yeah. Uh,
now.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Speaking of basketball, you know, what's basketball giving you that sticks with you to this day?
Um, like honestly, it's literally giving me everything. It's giving me a
Mm,
perspective that I wouldn't have gotten just as a kid in Newark, hanging out in Newark. I got to travel, to go to different different parts of the country. I'm in Arizona, seeing the
mm,
mountain. You know what I mean? I'm in
yeah.
California at Venice Beach. You know, I'm doing all those things. It allowed me to get an education, helped me to get the job that I have that I've been providing for my family and for myself for all this time. Basketball has been everything, and not just basketball, but just also those men who saw something in me and who also gave me something along the way. You know what I mean? Whether it was discipline, whether it was motivation, um, those people, I I look back and be like, okay, yeah, I'm one of those people to someone, you know, to a few people, whether they ever say it or not. I know I played a part in that, the same way these other men played a part in me being
Mm,
Korean, which is a productive member of society,
that's
you
right.
know. So basketball has really saved my life, man.
Mm,
It you know, I wasn't a bad kid, but who knows what you do when you if you just stick around in the same environment. You know what I mean? I had a good mother, good father, everything, all that stuff. But that don't stop you from being in the streets,
correct.
you
That's
know?
correct.
Yeah.
Mm,
So I owe everything to basketball, man.
yeah.
Just in different ways. People, if people, more people saw that it's not just about making it to the league. The league is nice, but you got a better chance of being a brain surgeon than being an NBA player, like statistically.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's not going to happen for a lot of people.
Yeah. And there's so many avenues that you could take playing basketball as far as not necessarily being on the court playing, but there's other avenues where you can
Absolutely.
still be involved and, still have a joy for it and everything. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of sports marketing,
Hmm.
but being
Hmm.
an agent, it's so many things.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you've seen these before here. I'm gonna throw you on the spot on the back end of this. So have some fun with some random, not so random kind of things here. So you good with it?
I'm good.
Cool, cool, cool. Being that Jersey guy here, Parkway to the Turnpike.
Yeah, I hate how the traffic has gotten on the Parkway. So I'm gonna say the Turnpike, but I hate the Turnpike. I hate paying them high ass exit fees, but I'll take the Turnpike over the Parkway. Parkway is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Great Adventure Action Park.
Uh, Definitely great adventure, mainly because my daughters like to go there. I'm not a real
Okay.
rides.
Yeah.
I think I've been to Action Park, but that was a long time ago, back in the free
Hmm.
trip when
Oh yeah.
when I was a
Oh yeah.
kid.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. Mm. British Walkers of Valleys.
Uh, I'm gonna say the Britishes, yo.
Yeah, tough.
Yeah, the Britishes. They it's just something about them in that soul. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're tough. Let me keep it downtown here. Universal with Dr. J's.
Ah, yeah, definitely Dr. J's. The
Okay.
old school Dr. J's.
Okay.
Dr. J
And
was when it came out. That was something special.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I could have threw a old head one and said Bambergers too, but I left it alone. I left it
Ah,
alone.
yeah, hamburgers with the basement downstairs. Yeah, I know all
Yeah,
about
yeah,
hamburgers.
yeah. Bragman's or Coopers.
Ah, Coopers, man. Coopers, those sandwiches is crazy.
Uh, you like the type that like to go out here. We got 88 or Sensations.
Ah, Sensations was more when I was younger. I
Okay.
was doing my more 88.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
88.
88.
Nah. uh, Springfield College or Scott.
What was it?
Springfield College or Scott. Clifford Scott.
Oh, this Scott, easy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was some of the best times of my life.
Mm. And
Yeah.
I know you mentioned him already, but I figured get it directly here. What Mr. Times mean to you?
Oh man, Mr. Tons is my guy, man. It's funny that I we're friends, but I still call him Mr. Tons or Mr. T.
Mhm.
That's just the level
Mhm.
of respect I have for him. But Mr. Tons, he believed in me from day one as a coach. He believed in me as a player. Um, yeah, Mr. Tons, is my man. We have a great friendship. He means a lot to me. Same as B. Like I haven't even spoken
I
to
was
B.
gonna. I was just about to tell my add on and say B.
Yeah, B too. B is, the both them, they're my mentors. They're my mentors. But maybe someone who would probably supersede them both would be Bill Wembley, who started that whole thing. Without Mr. Wim, none of this was there. And Mr. Wim
Yeah.
he definitely saw something in me when he put me on that 17 and under team.
Wow.
Um, he saw something in me. He saw, after the youth games, he had me speak at the dinner to talk about how we won bronze. I'm sorry about that, but
No, we good.
Mr. Wembley had a lot to do with Mr. Wim. Man, his loss was unbelievable.
Mm. Mm.
But
Yeah.
Mr. Wembley means everything to me. Without Mr. Wim, I don't know B. I don't know Mr. Times.
Mm. That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Coaching or playing?
Oh, I have to say both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I love being able to have a part in the outcome when you're playing, but I also like when things come together. When you have a team and you guys are building something. So it's definitely both.
I'm gonna keep it both here too. So, best game you ever coached? There's
Uh
one. Does one stick out like it just came together? This one particular game.
one of the latest game. This is it's gonna be funny. I'm gonna give you two, and it's gonna be for two totally different reasons.
Okay.
Is one of my, and it's only because this is more recent. So if any of my old guys see it, I'm sorry. It's just because this is the more recent. It's a team final game where we're playing the number one team in the country. Uh, that had I don't know, it was this guy named Harry Giles. He was the number one player. He was over Jason Tatum. They both
Okay.
went to Duke, but he was number one. He just ended up hurting his knee. But he played for Chris Paul's CP3 team. They were the number one team down at what do you call it? Peach Jam down
Hmm.
at Peach. And we played them in pool play. And our best player, Tony, my man Tone Carr, he was out with an injury. So we were a little depleted. We had a close game with them, and they were talking during the season, the EYBL. They was kind of talking shit like y'all got lucky, whatever, whatever. And some of the fathers told them, he's like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "We was trying to give y'all some respect, but next, if we do see y'all in Peach Jam, we're gonna bust y'all ass." So we're back in Peach Jam, and we just lose to DC Team Takeover by like 20 in the first game. So we play them the next game. They're the number one team in the nation, and it was just a great. It was a great effort, great game plan, and everything. So obviously we end up beating them, and we weren't even at full strength. So we beat them. We just opened the floor up, used that, and some of my guys made some big shots. This kid named
Hmm.
man Vaughn, he made crazy shots down the stretch, but we outplayed them. The second game I think I did my best coaching job was against Jason Tatum's team in
Hmm.
Peterman. And it's for a different reason because Jason Tatum, he he's the same way. He was a beast. He was playing a point, and was pretty much doing what he wanted to do with us. And they were kind of blowing us out. The best thing I did there was manage the game to make sure we didn't lose by a certain number of points because I knew we were going to lose the game. And by not doing that, that catapulted us into the playoffs. So I kept
Okay.
us from losing a certain number of points. We got in the playoffs
Hmm.
and lost in the championship, but Peach Jam
Yeah.
6. So,
Hmm.
there's so many. But those stick out the most because they were most recent.
Yeah. How about as a player? Best game you ever played at any level? At any level. Does
Then
one
he
stick
left.
out?
Uh, the best. Oh, excuse me. The best game that was that JV tournament game when I was a sophomore was one of the games that I couldn't miss a shot. So
Like an
I'm
ocean, huh? Yeah,
feeling before, like,
yeah.
yeah. And I felt Georgetown was my team, and I felt like Reggie Williams.
Reggie Williams.
That was my favorite
Yeah,
player.
yeah.
And I really felt like Reggie Williams. I had everybody on my back and everything. So that would be the best, probably, individual game I played.
Did y'all
Yeah.
win that game? Did y'all win?
We lost
Hey,
in overtime, I think. Lost in
okay.
overtime. Yeah,
You know how
yeah.
many? You know how many you had?
I think I had 29. I
Okay,
do. Remember I had
okay,
29. But
okay.
like there were no 3-point lines. And I was shooting the shit out of the ball. That's the crazy thing. No 3-point
Hmm.
line. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that would be the best individual game I played. Because it probably would have been like 40 or something if we had a 3-point
yeah.
line.
Best
Yeah.
team you ever been on?
Uh hmm. I'm I've been on some really good AAU teams with some really good
Hmm.
players. But where I had the biggest role was my high school team.
Yeah.
That's the best team. Um, it was a great collective of guys, different skill levels,
Hmm.
and all seniors. We all hung out and everything together. That's the best team.
Yeah.
That's the best team I've ever been on. And we won a bit. We won it. The what's the Essex County tournament was like the Big East tournament to me. The Big East
I
tournament
can
was
see
kind
that.
of the
I could see that.
that's the championship. Like you want to, you see how Mike's still sick because they won the state, but they didn't win the Essex County tournament.
And the count. Oh no, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, county
I,
tournament is a big thing. So, and we do have that hardware. So that would be the best team, my '89 team.
a game you like to have back, even years later. You like, yeah. I
As a
think
player,
you might have said it already, but
yeah, that's you already know. The Phillipsburg as a player, I wish I had that back. As a coach, it would be the championship of the Peach Jam championship for my 16 and under team when I didn't put a soft press on
mhm.
and they ended up getting fouled and tying the game up. I wish I'd put a soft press on. That drives me crazy because we could have won Peach Jam if I feel like if I'd have done that. Everything else was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna keep it in a 4-year window here. Was it 85 to 89? Your best high school, your all time starting five. That's
Oh,
who
85 to 89.
I'm in positionless too. You don't have to even have them at a positionless.
I'm a, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put damn 85 to 89. I
If you
don't know
want to
what year
extend it, that's fine too. If you want to extend it, that's fine.
I don't know what year Lou Banks played, but I want to say Lou Banks from Camden.
Hmm.
Um yo, it was so many guys, man. Eric Murdoch.
Hmm.
I can name Rams themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Mark Brown.
Mm.
Shit. I'm gonna throw Mike in there. Mike Boyd.
Okay. All right, that's four. Yep.
That's four. Because Mike was all that. Damn, I need one more. 89. Oh well, shit. Marquise.
Yeah,
I put Marquise
yeah,
in there.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a host of others, but
I know
those
it's
those,
totally
those come to mind.
best high school player you ever seen. That's from Jersey. We'll just say for like Jersey.
First, I Dewan Wagner was amazing, but Tim Thomas was different, man.
Yeah.
Tim Thomas was like he was something special. So I'm gonna go with Tim Thomas.
I got one more all time thing here. To get you in some trouble. Yeah,
Mhm.
your Scott starting five. All time Scott starting five.
All time starting five. Like, all right, I'm gonna go with guys. Some guys I'm gonna put them on, even though I didn't see them play.
Okay.
but they have the legend. So I'm gonna go Mike Brown, who played for the Bulls, Troy
Hmm.
Webster, putting Marquise on there,
Hmm.
Derrick Canada,
Okay.
and because I'm gonna put Keith on there because he
Hmm.
accomplished. He got 2 chips and they had a lot of wins and stuff. So I'm gonna put Keith
Yeah.
Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
And
right.
people probably say Rob James should be on there, but you know, Keith is
Now I
my
say
guy.
that I say that for when y'all get together, but like how you forget this person. So I will say that
Yeah,
for when you get together with them.
they gonna kill me.
Let me ask you, best part about being you.
Oh man, oh, best part about being me is I'm really able to get along with a lot of people from different cliques and different places. Like I'm still really cool with a lot of the guys I play ball with. Even to this day, well, some of them may not, some of them may not be as cool with one another, but we still have relationships. Different people in high school. I think I'm pretty easy to get along with, and I think my personality is pretty cool. Yeah.
How about being a father here? Best part about being a father.
Oh man, I love um I love being a father. I love my girls. I love um just giving them jewels,
Yeah.
watching them grow, looking at their potential and trying to make sure I have something to do with how they eventually turn out. I love being able to be there for them and plant things in their mind that should stay with them even way after I'm gone. You know what I mean? If I don't prepare them for when I'm gone, I'm not doing a good job as a father. So I'm enjoying that journey.
Mhm.
I really am.
Now, do they play any sports or do any activities?
No sports.
And that's all
None.
right. That's all
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's all right. I'm not running back and forth to the gyms anymore.
Yeah.
So that's all right.
Hmm.
I think probably made them, but since I didn't make them, nah, they didn't want to play.
All good. All
Yeah.
good. But they'll take care of you. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't
yeah.
even doubt.
Hmm. You done seen some things, been some places, or what have you here. Book on your life. What would you call
Oh, book on my life. Oh, basketball saved my life.
it? Dude, okay. Yeah. That okay.
That would be the book. I could write a
Mm.
book and it won't even have a lot to do with basketball. Not a whole lot, but basketball saved my life. Yeah.
Yeah. At this age now here, what would you tell that senior year about to graduate from Scott? What advice would you give that Derrick Bobbitt?
Oh man. I give that Derrick Bobbitt a extended course in financial literacy.
Extended, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, because we didn't get those. We didn't have access to that back then.
Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
can make a world of difference in anybody's life. So that's what I would talk to him about.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
mentioned your parent. You mentioned your parents. What would they say about you?
Oh man, my father passed away a little while ago, about 10 years ago, I think.
Hmm.
And my mom's still here, but they would say, and my mother tells me now, that they're proud of me.
Yeah.
They're proud of everything I've become.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we put coaching to the side here, and I'm sure teaching's about to maybe one day come to an end here. So what's next for you? What's on that?
Oh, business. Business is next. My wholesale real estate business.
Hmm.
That's when I'm gonna get that off the ground and get that running. Um, I only have maybe a year or two left, two if I want it to be, you
Okay.
know, before I can retire.
Hmm.
So that's next up for me. That's the next chapter for me.
Yeah. And
And
I
marriage.
and I share this. And what?
And marriage. I'm gonna get
Or
married again.
give it another go?
Yeah.
Oh, nah, good stuff. Good stuff
Yeah.
here. Want somebody, I mean, eventually your daughters, they'll take care of you, but they're gonna have to live their life. So you have to
Absolutely.
have that companion with you here, because again, they still gotta live a little. They'll
Yeah.
check on dad, but they gotta live a little.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just to definitely have somebody here. It's interesting you mentioned that whole education thing. I know how important it is. My other life, I'm actually a college professor, so I
Oh wow.
also yeah, yeah, so I get it how important education is, and it sounds like you like you said you've been doing it for 30 plus years here. But no, Derek, I wanted to say, and I usually say a quick little thing before you even come on here, like. I was hoping a little kid in me would come out, and I think I contained him. I contained him. So it was just seeing you and just like the rest of the guys here as far as just being a little kid, just looking up to these teams and everything else here as far as what mentioned Star Ledger, you mentioned games, everything else here. I think that's all been cool. And like I said, I get a little giddy when I have folks on because I just remember a lot of things here. Like, wow, I get a chance to actually, chop it up with yourself and everybody else here. But just to hear what you talked about in this time here together is. So that's way more than me being that giddy little kid here. Thank you for just sharing your walk here. This has been cool, man. This has been cool. I'm excited. And I know when I get off these calls sometimes too, I think my wife she sees another person, especially when it's Jersey, especially when it's Jersey, because
Right,
she's
right,
a
right, right.
Connecticut head, everything else, but she just be like, oh, I could just tell you just talk to somebody from Jersey. Kind of I just be on a high here. So nah, thank you for just sharing this. And like I said, I know I chased you down and but luckily we was able to, find a link with Mike here to connect me with you here. But not so no, thank you for all of this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, but I appreciate it so much, man. This something my daughters could watch and learn some things about me that
Absolutely.
they never knew, man. So I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you.
No, definitely. And just best wishes and everything. And like I said, I love the link. I think I keep saying it, but one day I probably just going to just rent a spot out and just, whoever comes. But just my
No
way of just
doubt.
thanking everybody and just to just chop it up and just kick it and see where it goes.
No doubt. No doubt.
Nah, Dak, be well, man, and we'll talk.
You got it, bro. Have a good one.
No doubt. Peace.
Peace.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Like I said, I get a little giddy and Derek, thank you just for sharing a little bit of your walk and what you got going on, what you've been through, all that fun stuff in between here. Thank you so much here. That being said, I'm just gonna step away, put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.